Hi, everyone, and welcome to this another episode of Tai Chi For You. And what this show is really all about is about Tai Chi. And when I say it's a moving meditation, there's a lot of definitions to this. And I was talking to students and just people that I met this week. And really, I want to make this, and we talked about the show. So I really want to make this show about you. And now you have to even think a little bit harder. What do you want? And a lot of people that I talk to, they're, I guess, open minded enough to try something new. And some people know a little bit about Tai Chi, or maybe they took some yoga or karate or some form like that. But quite a few of the students that I have now and the newer ones, this was brand new to them. So really they were searching for something more, something to really fill that void that they were experiencing. And whether you stumble across it and you find it by accident, sort of what I did, and I really haven't looked back since then. It's been part of my everyday life. But you might find it, and it might come and go on you. But um, anything that you learn, you really, um, I'm just trying to think of the words, the benefits of it. So whether you do it once, you receive benefits from it. So with that being said, this show is really it's meant to complement any classes that I teach, or maybe if you're watching us in another part of the country or another part of the world, and you're taking classes, use this as another tool that you have, and always be learning with taking a class or a workshop, or just watching some YouTubes on it, and not maybe just watching, but getting up and doing it. So the class that I have right now that's in the Northbridge Senior Center, it, awesome class, awesome students. The opportunity, it is a Monday, 11 o'clock in the morning, but if you can make it, that's great. If not, like I say, use this show is really sort of a synopsis of what went on, I guess, in the past week. So we're we're constantly reviewing, going over the basics, but with the live class, we are really um, where I can watch and adjust and make suggestions, and really go over it on a one-on-one basis with each student. So with that being said, let's get started with the class tonight. I always like to have some sort of water. I'm doing the water, lemon, and maple syrup this time, and it's a nice, refreshing drink. Another one that I had, I made with watermelon and put it in a blender with a little ice. So anything that's refreshing in these summer days, you want to stay hydrated. So I'll take one more sip, and then we'll get up and start. Ready. So with having new students join, we don't want to overwhelm. So, please don't get overwhelmed. Just remember that everybody there, me included, we all were beginners. So I was there. I was the one driving the instructor crazy with questions and trying to, you know, walk around and watch things from all angles. So if that's what you want to do, then that's fine with me. There's no um, wrong questions, I guess, or whatever you want to, however that phrase is. But um, the idea is, and the way I teach is a basic warm-up, and some of it is the Tai Chi principles of warming up, and some of them I've borrowed from other students that have learned warm-ups from golfing lessons, from piano lessons. So there's and other yoga students, the warm-ups that they use. So the first one that we like to do is a nice gentle, it's called ringing the temple bell. And with this move, it's done slowly. You incorporate the breath. Again, you want to take long, deep, full breathing. And you could keep the spine straight and just sort of turn at the waist, at the core. The goal is really the arms are relaxed, the shoulders are relaxed, and that centrifugal force is what's moving them from side to side. And you can add the tapping just to sort of wake up the energy or getting the blood flowing, things like that. You can also do a different version of it where you're up on the feet and it's a little more of a twist, but you really want to have it where the spine, the torso is getting that movement happening. Good. Right? And then shaking it out too. A lot of these things that we should be doing more of just in our daily routine, and really just maybe you're at a keyboard all the time. Get up and just shake your hands a little bit, move them like this. This was that keyboard, or that it's a keyboard, the piano. We were just rolling the wrist and moving the fingers, and you can make it your own, just like that. Okay. Then we do a simple head to toe warm up. And with that, and I'm just showing you some of the versions. There's a circular, and we're not overextending, but we want to get both directions. And again, don't hold your breath with any of these. The other version of that one is the looking up and opening the chest, opening the arms, and then looking down. Tuck the chin in. Expand out, breath in, and down. Let's do one more. Up and down. The other one is that side to side. And this might bother some people, so listen to your body on how far you can look. There is a Tai Chi move that we'll do that does stretch a little bit more, but this is just the warm-up part. So we're just showing you some warm-ups of the head and neck. The shoulders need to be relaxed. So we want to sort of roll them around. We're not trying to lift them up and pin them to our ears, but that 60-40 principle, that's that Tai Chi principle. You might see it with some other places calling it a 70-30, but the idea is not to overextend anything, being able to react. And again, once we get into some of the moves, and then the moves turn into a martial art application where you have that reserve if you need it. So we try it in both directions, whichever way you're going. Reverse. And don't have to lift them up high if you want to just keep them low. But really, it's to get the blood flowing, to get those, the ball and socket and the ligaments and the fascia and the tendons, everything that's connected that hasn't moved. We want to get them moving. Okay. The next part that we warm up is more of the waist. And that's with we call it the slow motion hula hoop. So maybe we'll try some some real hula hoops, or get a professional hula hoop person in here to get some tips on how kind of how they warm up. But we're just rolling it both directions. There's another version of this. It's the figure 8. So it's a little bit trickier to remember. But again, picture that figure 8 racetrack where you're coming into the center and around, back to the center, out and around, and then reverse it. So it's not only getting the hips or the waist and the core, but your knees, your ankles, and the shoulders a little bit as well, and the spine. The spine's very important. We don't want to, or a stiff back. People, talk about their back issues. We can do a lot of the moves with Tai Chi is a way to really loosen up the back. So that was the hips. When we drop down to the knees, and again, there's different exercises, but the one we like to do is a slight bend with the knees. We're trying to keep the back straight though, and we're just circling with the knees. So there's different ways you could circle outward, just like that. So I'm dropping a little bit and coming up. I'm dropping a little bit and coming up, and then reverse. And the other way is just that nice little circling like this. And this might, if you're having a little trouble with balance, this might be a better one to do. So you can concentrate more on staying centered. And we're just circling both directions. Good. When it comes to the ankle, again, that's a tender area. People have trouble, or they have weak ankles. So let's see if we can't help people with that. Have a good connection with the ball of the foot, but the back of the foot is up off the ground, and there's that circular motion. We talk about how the body likes to move in circles. The earth moves in circles. The universe, circles are very good. Why go against them, right? It's a nice way to warm up. And then on the other foot as well. There's that circular motion with the ball of the foot on the ground. Now, if you wanted to try a little more advanced, is the foot off the ground and circle that one. And that's a good one as well. There's all kinds of, you see people at the gym stretching, and that's fine. I don't want to get into a stretching class. But if you have the time, the more time you spend stretching and warming up, it's more beneficial and for any practice or any sport. So don't rush through any warm up. Right now I'm just showing you a basic, and we do go a little bit slower and for a longer time with the warm ups in the classroom. But here's another wrist warm up, where we just roll it out and roll it in. Nice little wrist roll, out and in, out and in, out and in. And then we end with a few taps with the fingers. Again, these are nice, easy going exercises that really sort of wake up the energy in the body. And there's some tapping on both sides and upward more. A little more on the wrist. Okay? Shake those out just a little bit. So for those of you that are brand new, we talk about the basics, and the first basic is that just a warm-up. Then we go into what's called shifting the weight. And with this move right here, that 60-40 principle is happening as well. By that I mean 60% of the weight is on one foot, and it's called the heavy foot, and here's the light foot. So watch what happens when I shift the weight. And now the heavy foot and the light foot. But keep it on the ground and start to visualize maybe the energy coming up out of the ground into the center and being forced back in, a good solid connection. You want to be a little bit weight forward, which means not on the heels, but more on that ball of the foot. And the knees are slightly bent. Notice the shoulders are relaxed. The spine is straight, or as straight as you can make it. And the breathing is that long, slow, deep breath. Don't worry too much about coordinating it. Should I breathe in on this side or whatever? Just breathe natural, but take a full breath in. And it might be for, going both directions. Breath in. Breath out. And another way to help with build your lungs, the capacity of your lungs, if you pinch the lips just a little bit, so the air has to be forced out in through the nose. Out through the lips like that. And that's a good way to build. If you know anybody that has a trumpet, maybe, or a saxophone, a trumpet player told me that one, but the saxophone probably as well. So they have to really have strong lungs and strong, get a good breath to play like that. So this is a great one to practice. And you think, like, okay, I did it once, I'm an expert at it. Not really. Go a little bit deeper. And by that, I mean, start to calm the mind with this one and really think about what it is I'm doing. I'm connecting to the earth. I'm nice and solid. Because when we start in with the form and the different moves, the idea is the heavy foot actually has to turn into 100% at certain points in order so this one can come up. And it's called a half step if you want to come in, or a step back, or there could be a heel kick, a low kick, or putting the weight out in front. And then as soon as that lands, now that weight shift is going to go to that foot, that 60-40. But now, in order to make the next move, it does have to be 100%, and the back foot normally comes up, and it could go right into a kick, or it could go right into a side step, and there's the turn. But the basic idea is that weight shift, and then add the turning the body. So you can keep the hands in front of you like this, but relax the shoulders and elbows and wrists. And if you want to visualize, you're holding a ball, and there's that shift the weight, turn the body. And this might be, I just thought of maybe, I had the picture of like a basketball, how they have to shift and turn to pass. So maybe they practice this sort of movement holding a basketball, and they're shifting that weight, turning. So anybody that's, if this is something to do with basketball, let me know. I don't know. It's practice. Get a basketball and practice with it. Okay? Excellent. All right. And not only shake out with the hands, we've been doing some leg work. Just, shake those legs out a little bit. And someone asked me about, equipment or shoes or whatever like that. It's whatever you're comfortable. You want to be in something comfortable. Shoes, if you can do it barefoot and you're comfortable, and the outside, it's you got a nice lawn or whatever, you want to feel the earth. That's great. That's that's next level. It's awesome if you can do that. But just a comfortable pair of shoes, maybe not socks, depending on. I mean, there's almost too much grip with shoes and a carpet, but with socks, again, it depends. If it's maybe like a smooth hardwood floor, I don't know. The socks you might slip out on it, but whatever you practice on, just be aware. Be aware of what you might have to do to get the best results. So those are the two basic ideas with the lower body, the legs. With the hands or the arms, the principle of 60-40 applies, but we also add the principle of if one hand is up, one hand is down. So when we want to switch positions, there's the purposeful movement, but I'm also having the weight, the knee slightly bent, and the weight slightly on the ball of the foot, just like that, and the back is still nice and straight. I'm taking long, slow, deep breathing as the top hand's coming down, and they're going to meet palm to palm. I like having this hand up and this hand across. So it comes down, and this is just for the new people, the basic. Let them touch and let them separate at the same speed. And here's that 60-40 principle. I'm not locking out. I'm not trying to go as low as I can. I'm right about maybe 60% or 70%. Same with the upper. I want to be right around this heart level. Okay? Now, when you want to switch, they switch simultaneously, and then it gets repeated down and up. Down and up. If you want to think maybe of like a puppeteer or there's all strings attached to you, and he's lowering the string with this hand and pulling the string up on this hand, and then there's that stick that twists them. There's that drop and lift. So it's all happening at the same time. Breath in. You're almost at the top. You start to turn. As soon as you get the further separation, they turn and go right back. Sort of like the moon cycle, how it goes from full moon, was it half, quarter, sliver, right down, and then it just comes right back up again, just like that. So we got this happening. Let's add the shifting the weight, turning the body. And this is a great idea to get this where it's all done with muscle memory. And for the new people, it's going to take time. So commit to yourself. Commit that you're not going to learn everything in 2 weeks. Believe me, there's nobody that knows everything. People that have been doing it for 20, 30 years. There's some other deeper level, or just a new move or a new form, a new practice that they could expand on. So you're not going to get bored with this. Believe me, it's not a paint by number thing. You can get a basic feel of it and start to feel good with just some of those basic up and down moves. That's a great little morning thing to do. If you only can you do what you can. Some people you're in a chair, stay in the chair and do that shifting, turning. But use your mind, use the whole body and visualize what's happening, how internally things are starting to happen. And that's that deeper level when you go internally with something. And then the last or the highest level is that sort of connection to, we can call it the universe or the big chi or however you want to say it. And that's where you really draw in that inner calmness or um, that idea of just getting the most out of it, that benefit. So that idea of, just that up down. Yep, that's great. Oh, even give me a weight. I can go up and down like this. I mean, whatever at the gym. But when you do it with intention, and you start to visualize what's happening, and you're able to move some energy around. And whether it's, I tell everybody, be an optimistic skeptic when you're doing this, that you are moving energy. And you can get all scientific with this and talk about everything is energy. Everything has, when they break things down to the smallest, there is that mystery of what's energy, what's the smallest there is. And, for us, it's the chi. It's that energy that we have there. It's really, going deep, and it's something that I could bring somebody on. We could talk a little bit deeper with that, and I've had guests on that I've written books that have done things and gone deeper with that idea. But for now, this is a basic idea of what Tai Chi is. I've showed you some of the first kind of couple of moves and some of the principles. In class, we teach the Yang style 24 form. So you could Google that and look it up and watch what that is. And watch, every move is that basic move, whether it's a kick, whether it's a throw, whether it's walking. You'll see that heavy foot, light foot. You see the hand is up, and then they go down and up. And there's that weight shift. There's that turn the body. There's that stepping out, and there's that hand up and down. So it'll all come together. I'm really excited. We got some new people in class on Monday. And what it is, they came together. And that's probably the best way to learn. So if you're a little bit shy, talk to one of your friends, grab a buddy and get down there. And that's the best way to learn. And then they're like, oh, we can practice together. So I didn't tell them to do that. They thought of that all themselves. But you really have to practice a little bit more than just the at class. So with that being said, let's wrap it up. And I'll see you guys next time on Tai Chi for You.